So we've finally made it to the final episode of this tutorial series. So one quick change I made before we move on is I added another call to the neon silhouette spawn after the do once in the input of neon dash. It's just that I just like the effect of having one silhouette spawn immediately. Okay, now let's get started on the actual particle trail particle. So first let's make our particle neon trail. Here all we need to do first is let's make it of animation trail required. We'll set this to neon particle material, save, and now let's actually, let me quickly open this up, you'll understand in a while. So let's quickly test our particle. So I will open up run. Oh, there we go. So for run, all we have to do is let's add a notification set of trail. Let's just put it all the way here. And then if we go to our skeleton, we need to make two sockets, which I already made, which I'll just get rid of and show you guys how to make them. So we first click on our hand, go add socket, and over here we'll just rename this to left_hand_socket. And then upper arm, we'll do add socket. We'll rename that to left_upper_arm_socket. Now if we go to our trail, we'll make our first socket our upper arm. So left_upper arm socket and left_h for hand. Let's call our neon trail, and if we hit apply and play, you can see our material starting to you can see our trail starting to come out, right? So if you want, you can test. This is pretty much how you can test your trail. So let me quickly show you one small change you should make. If you only see your trail appearing on one of the sides rather than both, go onto your neon particle material and make sure you have two-sided clicked. So it will show on both sides. Okay. So now let's move on. Okay. So I'm just gonna make the particle, but I'd advise you to test the particle with every change you make so you can understand what does what. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make everything now, and I'll see you after this. Okay, so I've finished making the particle. You can't actually see anything here, to be honest. You always have to test it with an animation. So I'll just show you all the changes I made. So for required, I added the neon particle, and I made our emitter rotation in X 180, and then I should have set my emitter loops to 1 so it doesn't loop infinitely. And then for spawn, everything was left the same. Lifetime, I made a constant and set the constant to 0.4. Initial velocity, I just made it a constant and put 10 on all the start velocity locations. And then for color over life, alphas, the alpha at 0, at what's called time 0 you want it to be 1, and at time 1 you want it to be 0, so as it shows fades. And then for colors, this is something to get there my nice glow. For the first color, it's the RGB values are 5.5 and 5. For the second color, it is 616. And I got rid of initial size and swapped that out by size by life. At 0 it's 4, 4, 4, and at 1 it's 1, 1, 1. So the particle will get smaller as it fades and as it supposedly decays. So if we want to, so over here our animation's pretty static in the sense where it doesn't actually move. So I'll show you what it looks like when you're moving around. You can pretty much see a trails starting to spawn now. So the advantage, it's not exactly in the center, from where we wanted, but we have the advantage because our character's invisible, so we can pretty much get away with putting it in most places. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and show you. Okay, now we have the trail coming like this. We need to have control over it, so instead of a trail, I'm going to use animation notify. So I'll just get started, and I'll make our notification events. So neon left trail start, and neon left trail end, and then I'll use the bottom row for right. So if I go to manage notifies, I can just do rename, Control C, and throw this in here, right, and add notify neon right trail end. So now let's find the right positioning for all of these. So let's just start with our right side. So I want to call the trail just as the right arm has started moving forward. So probably around here is when I'll hit start. And just before it, and as it reaches its optimal point, I wanted the trail to stop. So around here. So now we'll do the same thing with the left hand. So the left hand starts moving forward, so I will start our left trail, and I will probably end the left trail around here. Also, yeah, we have to first make our sockets for the right side. So upper arm, add socket. Right underscore hand underscore socket. Yep, and we'll add our ones for the legs as well. So socket for the left calf. We need one. So right. Oh wait, this is the left side. So left underscore calf underscore socket. And we need one on our foot. So add socket underscore socket, and I'll do the same for the right. Okay, cool. Now that I've finished all my sockets, you can also add some to the head, which I had in my tech out video, but that'll just take too long for now, so I'll just get started. So now that we have it here, we're gonna first go to our blueprints, and we'll call our notification events. So this, and yep. Cool. Now we can actually get. Actually, first we'll have to make an enum, which I have already made. If you don't know how to make enum, just right click, go to blueprints and hit enum, enumeration, and then over here we can just do new. Oh, I must have deleted it. So you just do new, make 4 variables. So I'll make one for yeah, left arm, right arm, left leg, and right leg. Yep, so that should be it. Okay, so now we'll actually get started on our blueprinting. So every time I code or writing code or blueprint or anything, I always like to, when I finish planning out my code, I first like to at least put all my variables in and not dot out which variables I'll need for this function. So I know I'll need my isNeon effect active, and I'll need 2 particle arrays. So one part. So I need to find a particle system. This, and I will make these into arrays, and I shall call the first one left neon trails, and I'll make the next one right neon trails. Cool. So now we'll get started. Let's make our first custom event. Add custom event, and I'll call it left neon trail start. And for this, and I'll make a end for this. I'll actually make my end function first. So add custom event left neon trail end. Okay, so just to make my life just to make our lives easier, I'm just going to make a function. So I'll quickly make it, then I'll actually explain what it does and how it works. Okay, cool. So I'm back now, so I'll just explain what I did. So first I use this neon because I'm going to be spawning at least 4 different trails. So I just thought, why not make one function that I can just keep calling instead of making multiple spawn emitters and then reseeing the locations every time. So for starters, I made so this takes an input of elimb, so which takes whichever limb we select, and then it spawns an emitter that's attached off neon particle trail, the one we made. I create another local variable called temp trail, and then I have our enum and off a switch statement. So if it's the left arm, left leg, right leg. So for each of them we link our appropriate socket, as you can see here, from begin trail with the temporary trail we just made. And then I just liked having 0.3 or 0.25 as my width. And then we return our temporary trail so we can get a reference to it, so we can delete it instead of having it always clogging up memory. So from here we can get started. So we'll first do our boolean. So actually let me close this. Yep. Now if neon effect is active, then we will call our neon spawner, have it as if left arm, so left arm. Left leg, and yep, just need to, yep, now it's return trail, so cool. So wait, for left arm, and this will be left leg. So now we'll get our neon trail and we'll add to this array oh wait, yeah, this has to be a particle system component, not a just straight up particle system. System component change, yep. So if I've changed this correctly, we can add to this, yep, and I'll do the same for your right neon trail. And let me just quickly test it. Yep, it works. Cool. So we add to this array, and then once again we do the same thing here. Yep, and that should generally be it for spawning our trail. Now to end our trail, all we'll need is a for each loop with a reference to our array. Cool, and then in our loop body we'll actually here we'll have an is valid. If so, we will wait. We will end our trail and and then we will, oh, can't use my mouse today properly, or in any of my videos to be honest. Then we'll clear the neon trail array. So this is pretty much it. So let's just do a quick call in our animation blueprint. So we'll start with our left side. So let me add my reroute. Oh right, I have to cast it. That's what I forgot to do. Yep. Boom. And now, so left neon trail start and left trail end. So if we did it correctly, this should happen. And no, it is not spawning. Let me actually make a quick check. Okay, yeah, so I found what I did wrong. I forgot to actually attach the emitter to our mesh, so it knows to look for these components through our mesh, because it needs a reference to it, so it knows so it can access these values. So aside from that, that should be that, and let's try. So when our neon effect is active, you can now see a few trails there, right? You can play with the size, number, size, colors, etc. to fix it up, and I had a few on my character's head as well and had them randomized between a few positions to create a more smooth effect. So now let's do the right side. So for that, all we do is we can just copy all this here, and now we'll add two custom events. So right neon trail start and right neon trail and oops, and yep, that should be that. And if we call it in our animation blueprint, it's just gonna be here. So if we start end, right, in, oh, and I just need to get a reference. Actually, let me reroute. And here we go. Oops. So thing's not spawning. Oh wait. This is what I get for copying and pasting, to be honest. I deserve it. And now you can see as they alternate. So this is pretty much the effect I had. You can play with the positioning, add a few more trails here, there. And this should probably be it for the series. I'd like to add more later whenever I get time, or when I figure out how to do wall runs properly. But for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, and I hope I managed to teach you something new. See ya!